Hey there, Grateful Gang. Lauren here, the Gratitude Addict. It has been a minute since I have shared a vlog with you all, and I wanted to just very briefly come to you today and let you know where I've been. So I have been very, very sick with pneumonia. It started 2 weeks ago today, actually. I didn't know it was pneumonia at the time. The day was fine, and around dinner time, I was eating dinner on the couch at around 8 o'clock at night, and all of a sudden just something came over me. I felt lousy, and I just put my dinner aside. I couldn't eat anymore, and I went to bed. And so that whole next week, or that whole week, I felt really just kind of lousy, lethargic, vomiting, no coughing or anything, no congestion. I took a COVID test. It was negative. And I was getting a bit worried because we had a really important, I say family wedding. They're family to us, our best friends. They used to be our neighbors from across the street. Our kids grew up together, and their oldest daughter, Jessica, was getting married that Saturday. So I was getting a little worried that I wasn't feeling well. Thankfully, the team in AOG really picked up the pieces and were helping me because I could not do much. Come Friday we went up, Riley came home, and Rob Riley and I drove up to Massachusetts, which is where the wedding was. Our friends moved there 10 years ago. Because they were having like a special welcoming cocktail hour type thing, and we wanted to go, but the whole ride up I just felt like crap, just crap, and still no congestion or anything. And I did take another COVID test, still negative. Oh, it did start with a headache. Headache was a big part of it too. I'm trying to think. It's been 2 weeks and there's been so many symptoms. It's kind of all a blur at this point of what was going on that week. Feeling lightheaded, very lethargic. Yeah, and no appetite. Fever. Oh, fever was another one. Yeah. So we went up Friday to the cocktail hour. I lasted a good 20 minutes into the cocktail hour, and I just told Rob I started feeling lightheaded, like I was going to faint. And I asked Rob if he could bring me back to the hotel, which broke my heart because we haven't seen our friends in a very long time. And, there was a time many, many years ago where I was always bowing out of things because of my illness and all that. And I really don't do that much anymore. And, I've been doing so well for a sick person. I haven't been sick in a very, very long time. I mean, sick. So went to the hotel, crashed. Thankfully, the wedding the next day wasn't until 4 o'clock. So I stayed in bed all day long, like until the very last minute. Just awful. By this point, I think my chest had started to hurt a little bit. No, that was that night. We went to the wedding. I, showered, shined, went to the wedding. It was a beautiful wedding. After the ceremony, we're waiting to get into the cocktail hour. I'm talking to Rob, Riley, and Jake, and I'm like, I need to sit down. I think I'm going to faint. And they started walking me to the bench, and I did. I passed out. So, so something's clearly wrong. And so while I'm so glad we got to go to the wedding, I sat the entire wedding, didn't dance at all. But just being there was really special. That night we went back to the hotel after the wedding, and that's when things really amped up. Like my chest was killing me, and vomiting and fever, and still wasn't coughing or anything like that. So we left to come back home. You can see I'm out of breath. Left to come back home. Rob took me to the ER. They did, they said, oh, it sounds like COVID. And I'm like, well, you can try. I took 2 negative COVID tests, and it was negative RSV, which is going around now, negative flu, positive pneumonia, which is kind of what I was guessing on the way home. I'm like, this kind of feels like I've never had pneumonia before, but it, kind of Googling it kind of sounded like it could be pneumonia. So that's where I have been. And now, so exactly 2 weeks later, I am back here at my my desk, and I'm going to do a little bit of work and then go back to the couch and do some self-care. I did take a shower this morning, and I just want to give a really big shout out to Linda Edwards, Jill Cook, Sandy Montgomery, Christine Malloy, and Suzanne Swafford-Loss, who is the team at AOG who really just picked up the pieces. They picked up the ball and ran with it. I have taken short leaves before from the group, but I've always pre-scheduled my posts, and they've been pre-planned. This was not pre-planned at all. But you know, the genesis behind a great team is, and what I wish for Attitude of Gratitude with chronic pain is that it runs seamlessly. It is way bigger than me, and it is way bigger than any one person. And so I didn't want my loss to be felt. And I don't think it was, because it looks like everybody took a little piece of the posts that I do each day. And it really just went off without a hitch. I know Linda was the puppet master and really organized everything as she always does. She's so wonderful. So thank you, everybody, for your well wishes. I know some of you knew I posted, oh, if you're not a member of our new community, I started a couple weeks ago a community in Mighty Networks. It's also called Attitude of Gratitude with chronic pain, but this community, we are able to be a little bit more open with our conditions and things like that. I'm going to start teaching classes come January, courses that some free, some paid, and it's a really great place. So I did mention about my pneumonia briefly on there last week, so some of the members knew, but in the Facebook group, we don't talk about our conditions. And so, you know, everybody, I'm sure people realized I was gone, but, you know, again, my team really just picked up the ball and ran with it, and things just went seamlessly. So thank you, ladies, for your dedication and service while I have been out. Hey, look, new sweatshirts in. I've had the t-shirt for a while, but new sweatshirts I got in. I Speak Fluent Gratitude with Attitude of Gratitude with chronic pain on the back. You can get that at the Base Camp store, which I'll put the link to in the show notes. But I am going to stop talking because I am out of breath. But I wanted to just give you guys a quick hello, let you know what's going on with me. I have a follow-up doctor's appointment on Wednesday. I took my last dose of antibiotics today, thank goodness. I was on a lot of antibiotics. And those of you that have been on them, which I'm sure is just about everybody, know they do a they're wonderful, and I thank God for them, but they do a real job on your system. I've lost a lot of weight, so I've got a lot of eating to do. But yeah, my very last dose of my final antibiotic was this morning. Yay! So I am looking forward to just healing and resting and getting back into the group and with you all. And thanks again for your well wishes. I will talk to you soon. Peace and love. Get your gratitude on and speak fluent gratitude.